Oh my goodness, my friends, I'm literally shaking as I bring you what might be the most explosive royal scandal of our lifetime. What happened on national television this week has sent shockwaves through the monarchy, ripped apart the Sussex narrative, and left millions around the world absolutely stunned. This isn't just another royal drama. This is a detonation that threatens the very foundation of Harry and Meghan's entire story. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, renowned royal biographer Tom Bower, yes, the Tom Bower, one of the most feared investigative journalists alive, stared directly into the camera on live television and declared, without blinking, that Archie is not the biological son of Prince Harry. Let that sink in for a moment. This wasn't just some anonymous source or tabloid speculation. This was Tom Bower, author of multiple best-selling biographies, making the most shocking royal allegation I've seen in my 20 years covering the monarchy. Prince Harry is not Archie's biological father, not by a shred of genetic material. Bower stated, with ice-cold precision, locking eyes with the camera, and those who've known it have been silenced for far too long. The studio audience froze. You could hear a pin drop in the moment before gasps and murmurs erupted. This wasn't delivered as a speculation or rumor. This was stated as an absolute fact by a man who has built his career on explosive revelations that turn out to be true. What makes this moment so extraordinary isn't just what was said, but how it was said. Barrett didn't stumble or hedge his bets. He didn't qualify his statement with allegedly or sources claim. He delivered this bombshell with the confidence of someone stating that water is wet or the sky is blue, as if he was simply confirming what many had long suspected but no one dared to say out loud. The reaction was immediate and seismic. Within minutes, social media exploded with comparisons of Archie's photos alongside childhood pictures of Prince Harry. Not for sentimental reasons, mind you, but to highlight what many are now seeing as glaring physical differences: different eye color, different facial structure, different hair texture, different skin tone. For a family obsessed with bloodlines and hereditary for centuries, these comparisons aren't just gossip, they strike at the very heart of royal legitimacy. What's particularly stunning is the deafening silence from Buckingham Palace. When allegations this explosive emerge, especially ones that could threaten the constitutional standing of a royal child, the palace typically responds with lightning speed. But in the hours and days following Bower's assessment, nothing. No denial, no rebuke, no carefully worded statement defending Harry's paternity. Just complete utter silence that speaks volumes. Some royal insiders suggest the silence isn't accidental, it's strategic. The palace is letting the truth bleed out without getting their hands dirty, one source revealed. Even more telling, King Charles hasn't mentioned Archie in a public speech for months. No recent royal photos include the child, and once heartwarming narrative of Charles dotting on his grandson has mysteriously vanished without explanation. This bombshell has forced many to re examine the Sussex's behavior since Archie's birth with fresh skeptic eyes. Remember how few images they released of Archie as a baby? How his face was often hidden, cropped out, or photographed in silhouette? At the time, everyone accepted this as a justified privacy measure, but now, those same decisions look suspiciously strategic. The couple's obsessive control over who could photograph Archie, what angles could be published, and how the baby was mentioned in press releases suddenly appears less about privacy and more about manipulation. According to a former palace staffer speaking anonymously, Harry didn't just avoid the press, he feared what they'd find. This isn't the behavior of a protective father, it's the behavior of a man hiding from something. Unlike previous royal births, which involved transparency around official medical records and documentation, Archie's arrival was shrouded in unexpected secrecy. Royal biographers were denied traditional access, birth certificates were mysteriously amended after filing, public engagements with the baby were limited, rehearsed, and tightly controlled. These aren't just eccentric choices by privacy seeking parents, they now appear as deliberate acts of concealment. Sources close to the royal family claim there were whispers at the time that a DNA test was requested, perhaps even scheduled, but never completed. One senior royal aide, speaking on condition of anonymity, said there were discussions, uncomfortable ones, but Harry made it clear he didn't want to go down that road. Some speculate Harry simply wanted to believe, even if doubts existed, because acknowledging them would mean accepting a betrayal he wasn't emotionally prepared to face. The most heartbreaking aspect of this revelation isn't the public humiliation, it's the deeply personal devastation Harry is reportedly experiencing behind closed doors. According to neighbors in Montecito, the couple's home went into complete lockdown following Bauer's broadcast. Security was tightened, media inquiries hit stone walls, and Harry, once regularly seen jogging through the neighborhood, has vanished from public sight. Sources close to the couple claim Harry smashed his phone in rage and refused to eat for nearly 48 hours after Bauer's assessment aired. He's reportedly furious with everyone Bauer, the press, the palace, and yes, even Meghan, because if this revelation proves true, it means Harry, who has already lost his mother, his royal role, his homeland, and his reputation, has now also lost one thing he believed could never be taken from him his son. This isn't just about image, reputation, or public perception anymore. It's about identity, deception, and the horrifying possibility that the child Harry introduced to the world as his firstborn might not carry a single drop of his blood. For a man who has built his entire post royal identity around being a father and protecting his family, this cuts deeper than any tabloid scandal ever could. What makes Bauer's allegation particularly credible is that it apparently isn't a spontaneous accusation. Publishing insiders confirm that Bauer's next book will include an entire chapter titled The Archie Deception, suggesting months of investigative work has gone into substantiating this explosive claim. This wasn't a reckless comment, it was a calculated preview of what may be his most confrontational publication yet. The timing couldn't be more devastating for the Sussexes. Their Netflix deal has reportedly been downgraded, their Spotify partnership collapsed, Harry's memoir Spare created unprecedented backlash, their foundation Archwell faces growing scrutiny, and now this bombshell threatens to completely unravel the carefully constructed narrative they've built since leaving the royal life. One viral social media post captured the sentiment perfectly. It's not about the hate, it's about logic. Look at Archie. Look at Harry. Look at history. This child isn't his. Full stop. Another commentator wrote, "This explains everything. The secrecy, the controlled images, the amended birth certificate, the obsession with privacy. It was never about protection, it was about deception." Royal watchers are now scrutinizing Meghan's behavior during pregnancy with renowned skepticism. The infamous Bumpgate conspiracy theories that once seemed like a cool tabloid fodder are being revisited with fresh eyes. People are questioning why Meghan's baby shower in New York featured no traditional baby gifts, why the couple was so secretive about the birth details, and why they've been so extraordinarily protective of Archie's image compared to their daughter Lilibet. For the monarchy, the constitutional implications are staggering. If Archie is not Harry's biological child, his place in the line of succession becomes legally questionable. His royal title, already controversial, could be invalidated. The legitimacy of his British citizenship could face challenges. These aren't just tabloid concerns, they're matters of constitutional significance for an institution built on bloodlines and heredity. What's perhaps most telling is how Tom Bauer appeared completely unfazed by the potential legal implications of his statement. He wasn't guessing or speculating, he spoke with the confidence of someone who knows his evidence is bulletproof. And the fact that neither Harry nor Meghan has issued a denial or threatened legal action in the days since speaks volumes about the possible veracity of the claim. For Harry, who has spent years waging war against media for invasion of privacy and false reporting, this presents an impossible dilemma. If he sues Bauer for defamation, he risks discovery, a legal process that could force him to submit DNA testing and disclosure of private medical records. If he doesn't sue, his silence could be interpreted as a tactic admission. It's a no-win situation that has reportedly left him paralyzed with indecision. The human tragedy in this saga can't be overlooked. If Bauer's allegation proves true, Harry has been living a lie, possibly one he's told himself as much as the world. Royal insiders suggest Harry may have suspected or even known the truth, but chose to embrace Archie as his own son regardless, only to now have that painful personal choice expose global scrutiny. One source close to Harry reportedly said this isn't just about bloodlines for him, it's about the ultimate betrayal of trust. Meanwhile, the royal family appears to be distancing itself from the entire situation. King Charles and Prince William have made no public comments supporting Harry's paternity. Palace sources hint that senior royals are aware of discrepancies but chose to respect Harry's decisions regarding his family. The ripple effect of this scandal could permanently alter the already strained relationship between Harry and his family. For Meghan, who has positioned herself as a victim of royal mistreatment and media persecution, this allegation strikes at the core of her credibility. If she knowingly allowed Harry to claim paternity of a child that wasn't biologically his, every accusation she's made against the royal family would be re examined through a lens of deep skepticism. Her carefully crafted image as a wronged outsider fighting against an oppressive institution could collapse entirely. As this unprecedented royal scandal continues to unfold, the questions multiply faster than answers. Did Harry know? When did he know? Who was the biological father if not Harry? Was the palace aware? Why was this explosive secret kept hidden for so long? And perhaps the most important, what happens next for a couple whose entire post royal narrative has been built around authenticity and truth telling? Tom Barr has thrown down the gauntlet with perhaps the most shocking royal allegation of the modern century. The silence from both the Sussexes and Buckingham Palace speaks volumes. As the world awaits for responses, denials, or confirmations, one thing is crystal clear. The Sussex fairy tale has been shattered beyond repair. What emerges from these ruins will define not just Harry and Meghan's future, but potentially the very lineage of the British monarchy itself. This isn't just another royal scandal, my friends. This is a moment that may rewrite history as we know it. The truth, as they say, will out, and it appears that moment has finally arrived in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. Stay tuned because this royal earthquake is just beginning, and the aftershocks will be felt for generations to come. Ta ta, and bye for now.